Welcome back to Clark Family Life. In today's video, I want to share with you the abundance that surrounds us, not just in our garden, but in so many other parts of our lives. Over the past year, we've been blessed with food from the sea, from the farm, and from foraging, and even from our own bees. Each of these has its own story, its own effort, and its own reward, and together they remind us of the simple joy of living close to nature and providing for our family. We'll start out on the water, where Richard loves to fish, sometimes out at the continental shelf, and other times just offshore. Then we'll head to the farm, where we're raising beef on our son's farm, sourcing pork and lamb locally, and making everything from roasts to bacon and sausages. From there I'll take you along as we forage apples by the roadside and turn them into enough applesauce to last us through the year. And finally I'll share the story of our bees and the pure golden honey they've given us at our bush retreat. It's not about having it all, it's about making the most of what we've got, being grateful for it and sharing it with the people that we love. So come with us and let's take a look at the beautiful abundance in our simple life. Every season begins with a seed, tiny, fragile, full of promise. In the garden, soil, sunlight and patience have worked together to bring life to our harvest this year. What began as small seedlings has grown into rows of abundance. Fresh potatoes dug from the earth, spinach crisp and green, tomatoes ripening on the vine, snow peas stretching towards the sky, and herbs filling the air with their fragrance. Each stage of growth is a quiet miracle, from planting to tending, from bloom to harvest. The garden rewards every ounce of care we give it. And with each basket we carry, we're reminded of the simple truth that the land provides, the seasons guide us, and the harvest is our greatest gift. This is the story of our garden, from seed to growth to harvest, and what it has provided for us so far this year. There is a quiet, intentional joy in gardening. Some days it's the solitude that I treasure. Just me, the soil and the sound of birdsong. It's peaceful, grounding, almost like a meditation. Other days it's the laughter and chatter of being out here with family, working side by side. The garden offers both, the gift of stillness and the gift of togetherness. This year has been an abundant one. We've grown enough pumpkins to last us the whole year. Around 60 of them, bright and heavy, stored away to carry us through the seasons. Our potato crop was just as generous, giving us enough to feed us year round. These staples alone remind us of how much the garden can provide when cared for with patience and intention. We've also grown an abundance of tomatoes. We've eaten them fresh, sun-warmed right from the vine, and we've preserved them, canned and frozen, ready to become sauces and soups, which we've enjoyed during the winter. Snow peas and sugar snap peas were a treat in the warmer months, sweet and crisp. We froze the surplus, knowing that months later they'll taste just as good as the day we picked them. The garden has also given us colour and variety, multiple types of capsicum and more eggplants than we could eat at once. We've frozen many of these, ready to bring flavour to soups and stews, and in the garden right now we still have cabbages forming, Brussels sprouts coming on, rows of spinach, and stalks of celery and spring onions swaying in the breeze. The herbs, rosemary, thyme, oregano, coriander, parsley, they're the constant companions of the garden, adding fragrance to the air and flavour to our meals. Rhubarb has been another favourite, tart and beautiful, reminding us that even the simplest plants bring joy in the kitchen. Our corn grew tall this year, enough that we ate plenty fresh and froze and canned the rest for long-term use. We've pulled beetroots from the soil, roasting them fresh and pickling jars full to keep us stocked all year. This year, for the first time, I decided to grow flowers alongside our vegetables. I planted a large sunflower garden, a field of golden faces turning towards the sun. At first I thought of it as something simple, just an extra patch to brighten the space, but what grew was so much more than flowers. The sunflowers brought life to the garden in ways I hadn't expected. Cockatoos arrived each morning, noisy and playful, drawn to the seeds. But it wasn't just the birds. People came too. Neighbours, travellers, strangers passing by. Some stopped their cars just to take photos, unable to resist the sight of so many flowers standing tall and proud. What surprised me most was the emotions the sunflowers stirred. More than once I watched people step out of their cars and just stand there. One person even began to cry when they saw them. These flowers became a gift of beauty and hope, shared freely with anyone who needed them. Planting these sunflowers taught me something important, that sometimes the smallest decisions, to grow a patch of flowers, can ripple outward and touch more lives than we ever imagined. And then, of course, there are the essentials, onion and garlic. These humble crops are the backbone of so many meals, and knowing we've grown them ourselves makes every dish taste much more meaningful.
Still the old 1945.
From sea to leaf, from earth to sky, the garden grows before my eyes. Colors rising, seasons tune. The garden sings in full bloom. Hands reach down, the fruit is near. The gift of soil, the gift each year.
When I look back at the season so far this year, it's not just about food, it's about the quiet mornings spent watering, the evenings spent weeding, the satisfaction of a basket full of produce carried back to the kitchen.
From earth to sky, we learn to grow, we learn to try. From gardens hard, our lives.
Every jar on the shelf, every basket carried inside is more than just food. It's security, gratitude and connection. This is the abundance of the garden and the gift it gives us, season after season. Okay, so today I've picked the last of my corn. Actually, there's lots of little lady beetles on them, but they'll dust off. I've got quite a few cobs of corn here, and I've been researching other ways to preserve them. It's about family sharing the work, sharing the harvest and sharing the meals that come from it. The garden teaches patience, it teaches gratitude and it offers joy. Sometimes in solitude, sometimes in togetherness, always in abundance. From seed to soil, from bloom to harvest, every moment in the garden is a reminder that we are deeply connected to the food we grow and to the life it sustains.
Colors rising, seasons tune. The garden sings in full bloom. Hands reach down, the fruit is near. The gift of soil, the gift each year.
From the sea and from the farm, we're blessed with an abundance of food that keeps our table full and our family well fed. This is the kind of food that connects us back to the land and the water. It's slow, local and deeply satisfying. The story of our food doesn't end in the garden. It stretches further, out into the ocean, across the farm and into the hands of local farmers who care for the land as much as we do. From the fish we catch on the open water, to the beef we are raising at our son's farm, to the pork and lamb we source from nearby farmers, every meal begins with a story of place and connection.
Strong and
These aren't just ingredients on a plate, they are gifts from the sea, from the land and from the people who nurture them, and together they remind us that food is not just something we eat, it's a way of life.
Food from the land that we're thankful for.
On our son's farm, we're raising cattle, strong, healthy animals that give us roasts, steaks and mince. From Sunday roast to hearty weeknight meals, beef is a staple that brings us together at the table. We are also lucky enough to source venison locally. We mince it for casseroles, hearty family meals and sausages that are packed with flavour. It's lean, rich in taste and a wonderful addition to our menu.
Bacon, salami, and roast to slow.
We source pork and lamb from local farmers, supporting people in our community who care for their animals with pride.
Into hearty meals and sausages we've laid.
With the pork we make roasts and chops, but also transform it into our own bacon, salami and sausages. A tradition we love carrying on. The lamb, tender and full of flavour, makes beautiful slow-cooked dishes. The meat we raise and source is at the heart of so many of our meals. From the beef on our son's farm, we enjoy roasts, steak, mince and even homemade sausages. Every cut has a purpose and nothing goes to waste.
Out on the farm, where the cattle roam wide.
We use our Traeger smoker. We transform pork into rich, smoky bacon and beautiful flavoured smoked sausage. It's a process that takes time, but it fills the air with the most incredible aroma and makes every bite something special.
Roast steaks and more.
Each of these meats, whether smoked, roasted, grilled, slow cooked, reminds us of a connection between land, farmer and family. It's food that's honest, nourishing and made with care. Living here in our little urban homestead, it's easy to think of us as country people, and we are, but the ocean is never far away. For Richard, heading out in the boat is more than just fishing, it's a way of life. Some days he will venture right out to the continental shelf where the water runs deep, hundreds of metres, and bring home incredible fish like blue-eyed trevally. Other days he's just a quick trip offshore for flathead, snapper and other favourites. Whether it's a deep-sea catch or something local and close to shore, the fish he brings home are always fresh, flavourful and a true blessing for our table.
From the ocean to our table, fresh and
We've got a mixed bag today, so this is bonito out the front of the rocks, the headland, Warden Head. Jackie got a nice blue mowie. We've got a little trevally, a couple of nice pigfish as we call them. They're quite big for the pigfish. Both of them are really big pigfish. A couple of snappers at 34 centimetres. And then we've got a bunch of these little nanny guys, so we'll turn them into something.
When Richard heads out to sea, it's always an adventure. On the days he makes the longer trips, it takes about an hour in the boat to reach the continental shelf. Out there, the water plunges to hundreds of metres deep. It's a wild and beautiful part of the sea, where the big fish live. The blue-eyed trevally he catches out there is one of the most beautiful fish you'll ever taste. Delicate, white, and just melts in your mouth. It's the kind of fish that makes you appreciate just how special our waters really are.
taste true. Then a catch from the ocean shade.
But not every fishing trip has to be so far. Most days Richard fishes just offshore closer to home. He'll bring in flathead, snapper and a mix of other fish that are perfect for family meals. Over the years, we've learned so many ways to use the fish he brings home. Sometimes we simply crumb and fry it, golden, crunchy and always a favourite at the table. Other times we steam it gently, letting the flavours shine through. One of our family traditions is making fish cakes, a recipe that has been passed down and loved by everyone. They never last long once they're on the table. We also like to smoke some of our fish in a little smoker we have. It's amazing how much flavour you can create with just a bit of time and care. Foraging has also been something we love, but this year it was simple, just apples. Whenever Richard was out driving to see a client, quoting a job, if he spotted an apple tree by the side of the road, he'd stop and pick a few. It's such a lovely reminder that nature provides, even when you're not expecting it. We brought those apples home, and with our apple peeler and corer, the work was done in no time. There's something so satisfying about peeling them in those long spirals, the fruit piling up, ready to cook down. The kitchen fills with the sweetest smell as the apples simmer away. We keep it simple, just a little cinnamon and a sprinkle of sugar, and before long we've got beautiful homemade apple sauce. Foraging apples this way is about more than just the sauce. It's about slowing down, noticing what's around us, and making use of what we're given. A tree by the roadside, a quick stop on the way to work, a few hours in the kitchen together, and suddenly you've got food that nourishes your family and fills your home with warmth. That's the beauty of simple living. There's nothing quite like opening a jar in the middle of winter and tasting autumn again. Bees are such beautiful little creatures. I can stand by the hive for ages just watching them. The way they fly in and out so effortlessly. Their tiny legs dusted with pollen, carrying back the treasures of the flowers around us. They're always busy, always working together. Such a perfect little community. The honey we've harvested has been nothing short of spectacular. Every jar feels like liquid gold. The flavour changes with the seasons, depending on what's flowering. The taste of the bush and the wild blossoms and trees around us come through in every spoonful.
Look at these girls go. All the boxes, I've just put the supers on top because all the frames in the second boxes were quite full coming out of winter. And we've got a bloke, we've got one here playing going. Get away.
Of course, learning to keep bees hasn't been without its stings. Richard has been bitten more than a few times while picking up the skills of beekeeping. But each sting is part of the journey, a lesson learned along the way, and he'll be the first to tell you the rewards far outweigh the challenges.
9:30 a.m, temperature is about 11 degrees, top today of about 15. These bees are coming in loaded with yellow pollen, so the wobbles are heavily in flower at the moment. There's not too many just in this area here, but certainly well, I've got these boxes here now, 3 high, and the bees here are a little bit crimpy still, so I'm going to get out of here.
Honey is more than just food. It's a connection to the bees, to the flowers, and the land that sustains them. There's nothing quite like spreading honey from your own hives on a slice of bread, knowing the journey it's taken from flower to bee, to hive to table.
Golden jars of sunlight lined in a row.
Bees remind us of the quiet, steady work that creates something extraordinary. And each time we open a jar, we're reminded that these small, humble creatures give us something truly precious. As we look back over the season, it's such a blessing to see how much we've been given. From the sea and Richard's fishing, to the beef we're raising on the farm, the pork and venison we've sourced locally, the apples we've foraged, the honey from our hives, and of course the food we've grown right here in our garden. Each part of our life gives us something to be thankful for. Thank you for coming along with us in this video, and we hope it inspires you to see the beauty and the blessings in your own everyday life.